But brothers, women's Final Four is all set. Before we get to that, there was games. The most entertaining. I think you guys has about 12 point something million views. The most
Yeah,
women
ever.
ever, bro.
That's
And
crazy.
that
Yeah,
has
baby.
something to do with these two beautiful young ladies that put on a show. Caitlin Clark lead Iowa back to the Final Four, scoring 41 points in 94-87 win over the defending champs. LSU. Angie Reese with 17 points and 20 rebounds. I know you guys saw the game. I definitely know you saw the game, Lino. So I'm gonna start with you, which you are a special reporter for the women's basketball.
Yes, it is.
So,
Oh
bro,
man.
talk to me, mate. Take me to the game, and how did this happen? How? Because I know you was closing the first half, especially in the first quarter. It seemed like injuries was the best player on the court in the first half, but some magical happened in the second half. I don't know. Talk to me, man. What do you like about this game?
I loved the pace of the game in the beginning. I mean, it seemed like they were dribbling up the court. You make one pass and they're shooting, or they're dribbling, they're driving. There was no ball was not sticking to two, three, four players. It was two players each possession, and it was so damn fast. You look up, we're 4 minutes into the game, and we got almost 30 points scored. Like it was just they neither team could not miss. I think the problem where LSU completely messed this game up from the get-go was you have Flau'jae Johnson, who has guarded every team's best player
Mm,
Right.
in every game this year.
true.
And all of a sudden, in a game to get to the Final Four, you want to put on Haley Van Lith, who is a great defender in her own right, but Flau'jae Johnson is a much better, more active. Haley is just too small for Caitlin Clark. That's why Caitlin Clark was having her way in the first half, even in the second half. But that's how she got out to that hot start. She
Right.
hit two of her first three threes. She was able to see over her and make those passes to Hannah Stokey, to Cade Martin in the corner, to a Falter. And I just don't know why for something that worked all season you want to switch it up at this juncture. It didn't make sense to me. I think Kim Mulkey dropped the ball on that one, but I mean these girls were on fire, man. The game lived up to what I hoped it would have been. I didn't want a blowout. I wanted a close game. For the record, I did pick LSU because I
Oh
think they're
yeah.
the better. I do think they're the better team, and I said LSU was the better team. Caitlin Clark is the better player. I know you guys might have a little gripe with that because of, you guys think Angel Reese is the better player.
Well, in the
I'm not
first
going to sit
half,
here and argue.
go ahead. But in the
No, go
first
ahead.
half,
Go.
that's what we were talking about. In the first half, the way the game started, and when you see
Hmm.
like when you actually see a player that could do it on both ends, I say all around injuries looks like he was the better player because in the first
Hmm.
half before she got the injury or what I don't know if it's an ankle twist or whatnot, but you could see it. You know what I'm saying? But like
Right.
in the first, especially in the first quarter, when he was going back and forth, like when you see a player that's rebounding, scoring, blocking, stealing. You know what I'm saying? So she was actually checking all the boxes that you look for when you're looking for detail, especially if you a scout report. You know what I mean? That's what I
Hmm.
saw in the first quarter. That's why I say it
Hmm.
all around right now. Angie Reese looked like she's the best player and she was ready for the moment. And I do believe that with that injury that happened in the sideline, knowing that I think she hurt the thing before. I'm not giving no excuses because again, I have no
I
way. I have
you
no
could have
way.
you could have fooled me. You ain't giving no
No,
excuses.
no, listen, but no, but check it out because like when you watch the game, man, even if you play basketball, you got a little bit of ankle twist. That's gonna damage. And she said after the game at press conference, she was playing through pain, but there's no excuse because what I saw from this game, like you said from the start, just I think that Iowa was more ready. They were more organized, and the coach dropped the ball for LSU. But continue, please, my special reporter.
I just I know
Uh,
I know you don't really watch women's basketball like that, and that's fine.
Right,
I get that, but I know you watch basketball in itself.
right.
There's two halves of basketball, right? Because you're talking about the first half, but you're not talking about the second half. What did she do in the second half? Now I know when I play football, my coach was like, "Are you hurt or are you injured? Because if you're hurt, you can get back out there. But if you're
Right.
injured, take your ass to the sideline." And that's what happened with oh my God, the guard from Houston, Jamal Sneed, that turned his ankle against Duke. They had that game in hand, but he twisted his ankle. He could not
Right.
come back, so he was injured. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese was hurt, and she's played with that ankle injury for I think the last 10 games here and there on and off. She played through the SEC tournament game she was walking on her off days in a boot.
True.
So they almost beat South Carolina. So I don't want to hear that there's she re-aggravated it. Absolutely. Did it change the way? I don't think so, because if you watch the way that she got her points in the first half, they were off steals. They weren't running the offense through her, which I don't know why, but they weren't running the offense through her. So she was kind of creating her own shot, creating her own points. She wasn't there was no point guard feeding her down low.
There was passing her the ball down low in the first half. That was before she got injured or hurt, whatever you want to call it, right? She was actually creating her own shot before that happened. Now, after that happened, you could see that she actually slowed the momentum down a little bit. I'm not giving no excuse. Just like she says, no excuse, because we all know Clark balled out. That's what you're supposed to do when you because like the basketball is a game of momentum. Once the momentum switch, it's about who continues the momentum, and that's what Iowa did. And coaching matters, and I think that LSU got out coaching this game from my point of view when I rewatched the game. But
right, all right, my turn.
Go ahead.
This is what I thought. So you guys keep saying two halves. Actually, it wasn't two halves. It was quarters. Every quarter was different. The first quarter, which I didn't realize actually until yesterday, that the women's basketball rules are different from the men's. They don't play two halves. They play quarters like the NBA. So the first quarter, LSU didn't give the ball to Angel Reese. That's why they went down. Second quarter, I remember even the announcer did say that she said on the sidelines, she told the other players, stop taking dumb shots. So second quarter, they came in and they changed the game plan. They started giving her more the ball, and she was dominant. But from a casual observer who doesn't watch college basketball all the time, women's game, this is what I saw. One team's best player was the forward or power forward or a center, and all the points came in the paint.
Right.
The other team's best player, she's a guard and she's a 3-point shooter. So you can't trade twos and threes. If those 3 points are going in, you can't be trading twos and threes.
Right.
And then LSU's guards were not up to the task to just guard her. Like you said earlier, like the shooting on LSU was terrible. I don't know how many threes they made. It was terrible. Most of their paints, injuries points came in the paint. Right. On the other hand, the other team was scoring 3-pointers left and right. And I remember when Syracuse used to play that 2-3 zone. When you play a team and shots are just falling, man, you can't be trading twos and threes throughout the game. The math says you're going to lose that game. They didn't play good defense on her, and I don't know if they got out-coached or the other team, Clark, on the other side, she was just way too good for everybody else to really guard. But I don't think they were out-coached. Actually, the point guard, what's her name again, you said? For LSU?
Flau'jae Johnson?
No. The one.
Are you talking about Haley Van Lith?
Right. They did say she played at Louisville, right? A couple years ago. And she went to Final Four. But me watching her for the first time yesterday, she had at least 2 or 3 unforced turnovers. She just threw the ball out of bounds. And every time she shot it 3 or 2, it didn't go in. And then she was too small. Well, she's kind of stocky, not too small, but she's not tall. So she couldn't stop any shots. That's where they got beat. Their guards just couldn't. They didn't do their job. When injuries got that ankle injury, And I texted Musa. I said, listen, if she don't come back the same way, this game is over.
Yep.
And when she came back, still limping around, she just wasn't effective. Now we don't know if she stayed healthy, if she would have continued playing the way she played in the first quarter throughout the game. That game was tiring. It was fast paced. There's no way both teams would have maintained that kind of play throughout the game. We knew that eventually that game was going to slow down. And if I was the coach for LSU, after watching the first quarter, I would have shortened that game, make it short, make it really slow, low scoring game. That's the only way you can win with the bigs, because the two bigs for LSU were way better than the two bigs for Iowa. But it was the guards and the point guard that just changed the game. They should have slowed the game down and make a low scoring game like 60s or 70s. They had a shot.
That's why I think that's why I say that exactly what you just said. That's why I say that LSU got out coach, because it was playing into Iowa's speed, pace. You know,
Right.
like you say, you should have slowed the game down. You know, but this actually was an even match game when you look at it. Overall, when you look at it, what Iowa did different was hit more threes and make more free throws.
Right.
That was it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like when you look at overall, when you look at the stacks right now, man, like Iowa had 17 out of 22 free throws, and then LSU had 11 out of 17, and of course the 3 points, man.
Actually, I'm even shocked that this scored that many free throws. Because every time I saw Andrew shoot, they were missing.
You know, that's but go ahead, GOAT.
No, I mean, the problem, and you learn this if you play basketball at a young age and you played throughout. When somebody sets a screen on you, you don't go under the screen, you go over the screen. And whenever Iowa would set a screen, LSU was going under. Now you're giving Caitlin Clark or whoever's shooting the ball even more space to shoot. You can't give these shooters that can shoot the confidence when they see it going in. Now it's just throwing a rock in the ocean. You're gonna hit it every time. That's problem number one. Problem number two is watching tape is key. So if you look at Caitlin Clark's shots throughout the year, you put that half court on, you see all the bubbles of where she makes her shots. A lot of her shots, if she likes to drive left and shoot threes.
You know what?
When you see her driving left, you know she's gonna take a shot. She's shooting it. You don't know if it's gonna be a three, it's gonna be a two, but she drives to the right, she's looking to pass. And you see a lot of that when she's driving right, she kicks it out into the corner to Kate Martin or to get to Gabby Marshall, and they're knocking them down. And that's what I said the other day when I said the only way LSU can win, they have to get contribution from the role players, because I see Iowa as a one woman team. Caitlin Clark can't do it enough, but when you get Caitlin Clark to put up 30, 40 points and have 12 assists, now you don't know what she's gonna do. She can dribble, drive, she can fake a shot, pass it out, go for a layup, because she's got everything in her repertoire cooking. And LSU failed on that miserably.
Right. You were right. I remember watching that game. Like every time she's about to shoot, she's right-handed, but every time she'll shoot and she'll go left, and she'll shoot like in an awkward position, but it's still going in. That was crazy. And like you said, every time she went right left, they knew she was shooting. But I remember one basket she made, and Reese was just like, you can't stop. There's nothing you can do. You can have your hand up and she just shoot over you.
Right. You know, before I let you tell me about the clock, right? I mean, I know she's a GOAT. Like right now, dude, that's what you're supposed to do when you're that great of a shooter, right? Mm-hmm. But man, dude, this is the first time I actually sit down, except for the South Carolina game, that I watch LSU game, because I'm not a fan of the coach at all. You know, I would say that before.
Who's coach?
LSU coach. You know,
LSU.
Before. You know, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not a fan of LSU, period. Yeah. But for some reason, man, Angie Reese, man, I was so impressed the way she come out in the first quarter and the second quarter. The way she was everywhere as
it was impressive.
Forward. Like she was very impressive. I'm like, yo, she could ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the night belongs to the GOAT. 41 points, 12 assists. I feel like the team was more ready for this. They have a revenge minded. They ready to bro. I can't even explain it because when you watch it as like you, there's a huge fan that watch it all the time. It's totally different from me that just trying to just see the ball. You know what I mean? To see how they're moving. But talk about clock for me, bro. Like killing clock. Give me like what more can she do, bro? Like
She got to win the title. I mean, and it's kind of like she balled out last year in the national title game, but her fellow classmates did not come with her. So you get that knock, but you have to. It's kind of like any great player. You have to make the players around you better.
Better, right?
But it's I feel like it's harder in basketball because I can dribble, drive, penetrate, kick it out to you for a wide open shot. Now it's up to you to make it. I did my job, but now you got to do your job. So it's and I guess that can go with anything with football, soccer,
right.
but I just feel like the only thing right now she's missing is a title. And it's no shame in losing to LSU last year. I feel like LSU, they were kind of the underdogs last year, and whatever. But I feel like I'm just speaking ahead. If they were to get to the title game, presumably against South Carolina, and she was to lose, are we gonna knock that on her because she lost to a team that is gonna be undefeated? Like, are we gonna knock her on that?
hell yeah.
Because
somebody
why?
will.
Why not? Dude,
Why?
South Carolina is undefeated, but South Carolina got a bunch of what is in new starting lineups. You could call a bunch of rookies because most of all the players last year all gone to the NBA draft or going somewhere else. This team, actually, South Carolina for me is the most impressive team in the tournament right now, and I hopefully experience don't catch up to them against our NC State. But South Carolina is actually for me is the most impressive team. Dude, this is you know how we always speak about man basketball, the one and done. That's the reason why they don't win, blah, blah, blah. But you got a South Carolina who has 5 new starting lineups. Dude, this is 5 new starting lineups, and they're here.
Yeah.
And to be like this right now, bro, like for me, this is impressive. For me, this is the most impressive run in the tournament.
I know what's crazy. If I can ask you guys this question, who are the most polarizing players in the women's game today? At least the top 2. Who are the top 2? Who would you say?
I'd probably say the 2 that played last night.
Which means the next game might be the better team they're gonna play, but the TV ratings won't go over 12 million.
No,
that's what's sad.
That's Paige though, man. That's Paige.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're gonna top that 12 million.
I get what you're saying because like I think that Angie Reese played a huge part why this college women basketball it is.
And it was a rematch from last year's championship.
Yes,
and the trash talk that's been going on. I mean, I'm sure the other players on South Carolina and UConn are equally good players, but they're not polarizing. They're not that interesting as those 2. Maybe that's why the eyeballs won't be on that game as it was yesterday, which is sad because the further you go in the tournament, it's supposed to get better with the TV ratings and everything else.
Right. But man, yo, killing clock, man, bro. I'll take my hat off, yo. You make the shot we're supposed to make them. And thank God the coach. Personally, like when I was watching the first, especially the first quarter, I'm not a fan when I see everybody trying to play for one person, as a team. You know what I mean? Because like, when you play, I was the kind of guy that will get mad and why you always passing the ball to the same person. You know what I'm saying? Move the ball around. But I guess when you're the best player, you are the best player. And then she getting my respect and she did what she had to do. This is what you're supposed to do, bro, man. If you're going to do in the regular season, do when it mattered the most. You know what I mean? So congratulations to her. And because we gave you City team, we got to say her.
Right. And before you go to the next thing, Musa, like you said, LSU coach got out coached, right? That is your opinion.
Right.
When I was watching that game, I'm looking at the other coach. She didn't seem to do too much either. The plan was give the ball to the best player and let her do what she do.
and move the
So-
tempo.
So she
Run.
didn't do too much. When you have LeBron or Kobe, one of those star players, man, you don't have to do a lot of coaching. You just, let's say, everybody give them the ball and move out of the way and let them do what they do.
And
You got
Jenny
a coach
last
on the you got a coach on the court, man. That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's why I haven't been a big fan of the Warriors, with how they won those championships, because I feel like if Mike Jackson built that team before he got
Right.
fired, you know what I mean? I think if he was still coaching and he had the same players that they have when they're winning championship, I think he could have won championships though. I'm not knocking. He's a great coach, but with that kind of talent, man, you don't need to do it too much.